Sometimes two people meet and their connection feels too deep to explain. Even when they part ways, something invisible keeps pulling them back, through memories, dreams, and unexplained emotions. Psychology says, not every separation means the end. Sometimes it's a pause for growth, a silent preparation for reunion. Because real connections don't vanish, they evolve. So if you've ever felt that your story with someone isn't over yet, maybe these hidden signs will help you understand why. Here are 10 psychological and emotional signs that you both are meant to reunite when the time is right. Sign 1, you both tried to move on, but emotionally, you never could. Psychology calls it emotional imprinting. When two people form a strong emotional bond, their brain releases oxytocin and dopamine in patterns that wire memories together. Even if time passes, that emotional memory remains active. So when you try to move on and still find your mind returning to one person again and again, it's not weakness. It's your brain reminding you that something unresolved still exists. You may date others, distract yourself, or even convince your mind that you're done. But deep inside, there's an emotional echo, a feeling that your story with them still has one more chapter left. When both people feel this, the same emotional pull even after separation, it's often a sign of unfinished psychological resonance. It means there's still emotional meaning waiting to be discovered, healed, or lived through, together or as closure. Sign 2, you both grow in similar directions, even while apart. One fascinating pattern psychology observes in connected people is parallel growth. Even when you live in completely different environments, somehow your emotional maturity, mindset, or purpose starts to align again. For example, you both start focusing on self-love. You both become calmer, more grounded, more aware of what love truly means. You both begin to understand the mistakes you made without even talking. This happens because deep emotional connections create something psychologists call emotional mirroring. It's when your subconscious continues to grow in rhythm with the person you once loved. So if you notice that you and your person seem to be evolving in the same emotional direction, it could be a hidden sign that you're preparing for a healthier reunion in the future. Sign 3, you feel a deep sense of peace. When you think about them now, in the beginning, separation hurts. There's anger, regret, sadness, or longing. But with time, something changes. If you've truly healed, thinking about them no longer triggers pain. Instead, it brings a quiet sense of peace, gratitude, or even acceptance. That emotional calm is powerful. It's a sign that your nervous system has regulated itself regarding that person. Psychology says, when emotional triggers fade and peace replaces pain, it's a sign that your attachment has matured. And this maturity is often what allows two people to reconnect in a healthier, more conscious way later in life. So if you both can now think of each other with peace instead of tension, it may mean you've reached emotional readiness for reunion. Sign 4, you randomly feel their energy, even when you're not in contact. This might sound spiritual, but psychology has its own explanation. It's called empathic resonance, a subtle subconscious awareness of someone you've deeply connected with. When two people have shared intense emotional experiences, their brains can store patterns of emotional responses. So sometimes, when that person is thinking of you or feeling strong emotions, your subconscious may pick it up through memory-linked sensations. You might suddenly feel their presence, or get random thoughts of them during quiet moments for no logical reason. This emotional intuition often shows that there's still an energetic link, one that time and distance haven't fully erased. While it doesn't mean obsession, it can be a psychological reflection of unfinished connection, a signal that your emotional bond is still alive beneath the surface. Sign 5, you both experience major life lessons after separation. Many times, separation happens because both people need to grow individually. You had lessons to learn about self-worth, boundaries, patience, or communication. They had lessons about maturity, commitment, or emotional availability. From a psychological view, love often acts as a mirror for self-growth. When two people separate but their experiences afterward transform them in exactly the areas they once lacked, it's not coincidence, it's emotional alignment. So if you notice that both of you have gone through experiences that shaped you into better, wiser, softer versions of yourselves, it might be the universe's way of preparing you both for reunion. Because true reunions don't happen when you still need each other to fill your emptiness. They happen when you've already filled that emptiness yourself, and now you're ready to love from wholeness, not need. Sign 6. You both still believe. Deep down that the story isn't over. Psychology calls this intuitive conviction, an inner knowing that doesn't rely on logic. You might have moved on logically, but emotionally you still feel a pull that says, this is not the end. If both people, even silently, feel that their story isn't complete, it could be because your subconscious mind senses emotional incompletion. Humans crave closure, but when the mind doesn't find closure, it keeps searching in dreams, in thoughts, in daily signs. Sometimes that searching isn't about obsession, it's about purpose. The purpose of reuniting, healing, or finishing something meaningful. If that conviction hasn't faded for both of you, it could be a psychological indicator that the emotional journey between you two still has a destination. Sign 7. You've forgiven each other, even without an apology. Forgiveness is one of the rarest and most mature emotional stages. When someone hurts us, our mind creates mental defense walls to protect us from pain. But once we heal, those walls start to melt. If you find yourself no longer holding resentment, if you can think of them and genuinely wish them well, that's emotional evolution. And when both people reach this state, forgiveness without apology, the emotional bond reactivates in a pure way. Psychology explains this as emotional release. It frees both individuals from guilt and anger, allowing natural connection to flow again. Forgiveness is often the invisible bridge that quietly leads two people back to each other, not from dependency but from understanding. Sign 8. You still inspire each other from afar. This one is subtle yet beautiful. Even if you haven't talked for months or years, something about that person still inspires your growth. Maybe they motivated you to become more disciplined, more compassionate, more successful. Maybe you inspired them to believe in themselves or pursue their purpose. When two people influence each other positively, even in silence, psychology calls it indirect reinforcement. Your memory acts as a motivational symbol, subconsciously guiding you toward becoming the best version of yourself. This invisible exchange of inspiration shows that your connection has transformed beyond romantic attachment. It's now a catalyst for evolution. And when two people keep inspiring each other, life often finds a way to reunite them when they are both emotionally ready. Sign 9. You keep crossing paths in unexpected ways. Sometimes you may run into each other randomly, or see something that reminds you of them just when you're thinking of letting go, or you hear their favorite song at the exact moment you think about them. Psychology views this as selective attention. Your brain subconsciously seeks patterns related to emotionally charged memories. But when coincidences keep repeating too precisely, it also indicates that your subconscious mind is still tuned to their emotional frequency. Repeated chance encounters may be more than just coincidence. They might be the universe's timing aligning with your internal readiness. In psychological terms, your reticular activating system, RAS, the brain's attention filter, becomes more active toward people or themes that emotionally matter to you. So when you're healing, your energy and your emotions reach a similar stage. These chance moments increase, hinting that a reunion might not be far away. Sign 10. Deep inside, you both still choose each other, without forcing it. This is the purest sign of all. After all the lessons, the heartbreak, the distance, when both people quietly still choose each other in their hearts, it means something powerful. Psychology says love matures when it shifts from need to choice. Need says, I can't live without you. Choice says, I can live without you, but I'd still want you in my life. If both people, after all their personal growth, still feel a gentle inner yes toward each other, that's not fantasy. That's emotional truth. It means your connection has survived time, pain, ego, and change. And when that happens, the timing of life often brings you back together. Not because you chased each other, but because you both finally became the kind of people who can love without breaking each other this time. Psychology and timing go hand in hand. Two people can meet at the wrong time, when they're immature, insecure, or unaware of what real love means. And sometimes life separates them, not as punishment, but as preparation. You grow separately. You learn self-respect, boundaries, and emotional awareness. They learn patience, empathy, and how to communicate love without fear. When both journeys are complete enough, life finds subtle ways to reconnect you. Because healthy love isn't about possession, it's about readiness. You don't reunite when you miss someone. You reunite when you both have evolved enough to meet each other with understanding, not wounds. So if these signs feel familiar, take them as reassurance, not as pressure. You don't need to chase the connection. If it's meant to return, it will, naturally, gently, at the exact moment when both hearts have matured enough to hold it right. Until then, keep healing, keep growing, and keep believing that genuine connections don't die. They simply wait until the time is right. If this message resonated with you, remember, the right person doesn't need to be chased. They meet you at the right vibration. Maybe your story isn't over yet. Maybe it's just paused until the best version of you both is ready to begin again. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment and subscribe.